Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. We're here for another review, Jive. Yesterday was Terrible Movie Tuesday, and it was Wife's choice, and she wanted to watch Jennifer's Body, and that wasn't available. And then she wanted to watch some other bullshit, and
Austin
that wasn't
Powers,
available. Oh, Austin Powers.
So,
and that we couldn't find. And then there was a third one that we were looking for that we couldn't fucking find. So we settled on Godzilla from 1998, the one with Matthew Broderick. And let me fucking tell you what. Alright, I've probably seen this movie 10, 15 times minimum, right? I mean, like, I've seen this movie a number of fucking times. Alright, I saw it in theaters. This is not a good fucking movie at all.
I have not seen it nearly that many times, but I did see it
so
in the
bad.
theater. It's so bad.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so bad.
Mostly. The number one complaint I have. Fuck with that Godzilla, man.
It's a very strange Godzilla.
It's like his face is like the square T-Rex faces from like from the Ice Age movies. You know how their faces are like really cubey. But his body is very raptor-ish, but just scaled up.
But the neck is super long and fleshy like an iguana.
It's so fucking weird. He's so weird looking, and I'm like,
super weird.
I'm a pretty big.
And the Godzilla babies look even weirder.
Oh, they just look like fucking raptors.
They're just raptors with weird heads.
Yeah, they're just dumbhead raptors.
In fact, they might be the new raptor in the next Jurassic Park movie, the way that franchise is going.
Wow. I mean, the new, yeah, well, at this point in time, who fucking knows?
This movie did give a really awesome dose of 90s
nostalgia.
Oh,
those monitors.
Boy, there was
those monitors
there was
are
monitors.
old.
There was old tech. At one point in time, they said, we have an internet that we use. And I was just like, that's not how...
Yeah, they meant
that's not how the internet works.
They meant intranet, not internet, but that's totally cool.
But they said internet.
Yeah, well, because it's internal, the net.
Yeah. This
movie, it's just 90s nostalgia. It's there, right? And the actors for their roles in this movie do a pretty bang-up job.
Yeah, they really do.
Matthew Broderick's badass.
Hank Azaria, one of my favorite actors.
His ex-girlfriend is the most 90s, like, news reporter lady ever.
And her best friend is the most 90s best friend ever.
Yeah, it's so strong. It's so strong. So it's like, those parts are good. It's just that when you kind of snapshot the whole movie...
Yeah.
Or you start to really think about anything that happens in the movie, it falls apart. Like, oh, it's so sweet, like the love story that's going on throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But you also kind of have to think, she 100% betrayed his trust.
Yeah.
And is a huge bitch.
And
right? Like, the way that she did that...
problem with national security as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yes, she betrayed his trust. She also maybe committed a felony. Because this was, like, information of national security. So, like, maybe some treasonous
Well, she
words.
did the meddling reporter thing.
Yeah.
That is a fairly common trope.
Yeah. It's that thing where he's just like, he's like, they're like, how did this news get out? And he's like, I told her I didn't know. And then she's just like, I'm super sorry. I didn't think they would run the story or something. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
We're just gonna like fucking blow past all of this and just accept that she fucking lied like that? Like, oh man.
Watching movies that are this old, and I mean really this isn't like an old movie.
Yeah.
But watching movies that are this old are always a little fun because you're like, what's the thing that like dates it? Yeah. So like there's obviously technology, but there's other slight things too. Aside from fashion also.
Yeah.
And cars and that kind of stuff.
Shoulder pads in the 80s.
One of the things that we noticed in this movie was this was pre 9/11 New York City.
Because it was shot in 98.
And basically, as a contractual obligation, every single movie that takes place in New York City pre 9/11 has to have a picture or a scene with the Twin Towers in it.
Yeah.
And this one did, like usual.
Yeah.
And at one point in time, the girlfriend and the rest of the reporting crew are in a helicopter, and they're doing the helicopter reporting as Godzilla's tromping around New York City, and they're like, oh, this is the most destruction we've seen in New York City since the World Trade Center bombings. And I was like, what? Oh.
Yeah, the car bombings.
The other bombings.
Yeah.
The other ones.
Well, it I mean, really, if you think about it, most movies set in New York, but especially this movie set in New York, is a tour of all the. It's like, hey,
it's a tour of all the attractions.
Remember this building? We're gonna blow it up. Remember this building? We're gonna blow it up. It's like when they go to San Francisco. They're like, remember this bridge? We're gonna blow it up. Remember
because
this building?
Because that's the only thing they have in San Francisco.
Maybe we get one building in San Francisco.
Maybe
but it's
we
mostly
get the
just the Golden Gate Bridge.
building,
Yeah,
but that was really just like Sonic. But this one is basically, this movie is basically
every landmark. Holy shit. At one point in time, the mayor of New York is just like, guys, another landmark? Like, he admits, he's just like, it's too much. Do less of whatever the fuck you're doing. It's great. And it's because this just, like, this is that standard issue, like, military nincompoopery sort of a story. But it's like, at one point in time, like, you know, they're playing these military guys off as idiots, and that's what I'm talking about. Is that like these?
But
in
the
a,
U.S.
in a lot
military
of these,
guys specifically,
well,
not the French
in
guys.
a lot of these movies, like if the main character is not an ex-soldier, then they always play off the military's involvement as being dumb. And in this one, it was just like fire missiles at it, and then stop doing that because that didn't work, and then do that some more.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you
really,
could almost
that's how the military handles any
erase
monster
their
movie.
part of the plot from the movie. Like, it's just vague military stuff happening in the background, and Matthew Broderick isn't working for them. And the movie could still exist in exactly the same way it still exists.
Yeah.
Like, it was super weird.
It was very
They were just, like,
yeah.
kind of weird set-piece military guys. Bang, bang, military guys. It was crazy town. It was like, what's going on here? Nobody's saluting nobody. Everybody's just kind of, like, vaguely a dick to each other.
Yeah,
I do love that they call him the worm guy, though. Even the other scientist is just sassy about his bullshit hippie science.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. But this movie also, like many 90s movies, had a ton of actors in it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
most importantly, there is an actor that I have a fun fact about. So, in the beginning of the movie, there's an old man who's fishing off the docks in New York City. And then Godzilla comes and, like, chases him up the docks. We never find out if he lives or if he dies. But I was like, gosh, that old guy looks super familiar, this little old fisherman guy. And I looked him up, and he has been in over 180 things. He has been acting since the 60s, and in every single decade, he has been at least one episode of every TV show, and always like mildly bit parts in movies. This guy is a solid worker. He's the old actor guy.
Yeah, he's
and like
actor.
some of the parts, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But he never played anything big, so he's not like the guy from that movie that did that thing. He's just this like old man who's been in like every single movie he could sign and TV show he could sign on to since he started acting, basically until the day he died. And he was old when he died too, so I mean, I'm sure that was super tragic, but it wasn't like noteworthy.
This movie did. I just wanted to double check this. So this movie has a horrible rating on like Rotten Tomatoes stuff, but it seems to have done pretty good in the box office.
It was because
which is
back
kind
then,
of absurd. Like I remember watching this back then, and still it was
huge.
not good.
Oh my god!
Like
there was like the
tie-in,
soda
the
cups
McDonald's and the soda
and
cups,
McDonald's,
and
and you had like
they tried
other
real hard to
brands
make
doing
like
stuff.
Godzilla a thing, and then they produced this movie. And I mean, to be honest with you, even in '98, which would have made me,
you would have been 10.
Yeah, I would have been 10.
Yeah.
Not a good movie.
I mean, I saw it when I was in high school, and it was still not a good movie.
Yeah, not a good movie.
I do love Godzilla movies, and I do love this one because it's a Godzilla
I'm a huge
movie.
Godzilla fan. This, to me, isn't real Godzilla. This is kind of absurd.
Ridiculous movie.
Like, bullshit Godzilla.
Yeah.
Absurd
That being
American
said,
Godzilla.
there are some twists and turns, and I feel like the plot twists were not super easy to guess at the very beginning.
No, you didn't know where this was.
Which
You
is kind of
didn't
cool.
know where this was going to go.
I mean, this is old, but I don't
Matthew
really want to give
Broderick
away the twist because it's ridiculous.
fucking adorable in this movie. I love him so much. He's so good in this movie. He just plays this like bumbling buffoon who...
He's like the silly, awkward scientist.
Who just stumbles into answers. He's just like, I don't know, over here. and then crashes into some secrets, and they're like, I don't know over here, and crashes into some fucking knowledge. It's crazy town.
It's very strange.
Holy heck, how this guy didn't die in New York, how any of these main characters didn't die in New York is just...
Well, there's one time
just
that
ridiculous.
Godzilla steps down, and Hank Azaria is the reporter's...
He's the cameraman.
Cameraman.
Yeah.
And Godzilla steps down, and he's just, like, seeing the foot come down, and he's just screaming and not moving, and you're like, what are you doing? Get out of the way.
Yeah.
And the foot goes down, and you have that moment where you're like, oh no, did he get smushed? And I actually didn't remember, but I remember that there was maybe this.
Yeah.
The foot lifts up, and then you see him, and he was just like standing there. So he's just like this,
like in the foot. It was crazy town.
Of the foot.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy town.
Yeah.
But so I mean, you know what? There are a lot of good things about this movie. There are a lot of dumb things about this movie also. It has an all-star cast.
It is a thoroughly enjoyable watch.
The practical effects in it are good. The CGI in it is not good.
It did not hold up super well.
It got rough fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some scenes with Godzilla where you're just like, oh, is that what you're gonna do?
You're like, oh, okay.
We have seen like the behind the scenes kind of stuff for this movie, and they did do a lot of the effects were practical, which helped. So I mean, you know what? Overall, I'll watch this movie again.
Absolutely.
You know, am I like a Matthew Broderick '98 Godzilla fan? No. No, I wouldn't say that. I'm a fan of Godzilla. Not this one.
The franchise.
Yeah, actually, none of the American ones Godzilla. Because I got opinions about the new ones too. But at least it's a fun movie, and that's really the point.
Yeah.
Is that it's a fun movie, so watch it and have fucking fun.
It was an immersive, enjoyable, fun summer blockbuster.
Yeah. Laugh about them being like just. Oh man, just the technology.
Yeah.
And the stuff that you used to see in movies.
Yeah.
You know, the old jokes. Some of the jokes. There were a couple of jokes in this where we're like, no, that's not a right now today joke.
Yeah, we're like, we don't make that.
We
joke
don't make those jokes no more. Yeah. That was a while ago kind of joke. Those aren't appropriate anymore. So enjoy it for that kind of stuff. But yeah. I like this movie. I thought it was all right.
Absolutely.
If you have seen this movie, let us know below. If you haven't seen this movie, go see it. Then immediately come back here.
What's your favorite Godzilla movie?
Yeah, what's your favorite Godzilla movie? It's obviously Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. There is always a right answer.
It's Mothra.
No.
It's Mothra.
Mechagodzilla.
No, it's definitely Mothra.
But, so yeah, either way, like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that kind of crap.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think. I've been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This is Review Jive. It was Terrible Movie Tuesday. We watched Godzilla, 1998. Matthew Broderick, kicking ass. Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.